Hi everyone, I wanted to show you how I finished off this doll. I decided to give him a creepy body instead of making a costume for him. So what I'm doing is I'm using my glue gun, and as I'm squeezing the glue out, I'm just scribbling all over the doll with the glue. This will give a thin layer of glue all over the doll that's uneven, lumpy, bumpy, scratchy. It just adds texture to the skin. It's going to make it so it looks like it's creepy, rotten, manky skin. And the idea behind this is this guy went out on Halloween night with his mask on and was intended on going out to scare someone, but then something happened and he became his Halloween creature, and the mask became part of him and he turned into this monster. So it's like he's got possessed or turned into some sort of demon or monster or something on Halloween night. So now he no longer is able to take the mask off. It's now part of him, and he goes around scaring people on Halloween. So that's the kind of the idea behind it. I was originally going to do it where it's just a kid out trick-or-treating, but then I decided the mask looked too creepy just to do that. I thought it would look better if I made him into a monster. So what I'm doing is any parts of the skin that are showing, I'm going over with the hot glue and scribbling it and making sure it's all lumpy and bumpy and uneven, but quite a thin layer as well at the same time. Similar effect to there's another doll I'm going to do that I don't think I'll have shown you the video when I upload this one, so I won't mention which one it is, but there is another doll I'm going to do which has a similar sort of skin effect. I'm adding a bit of glue to add some texture to his trousers, which I can add like some paint to make it look like some crud or nastiness that's on his trousers. Then over where his ribs would be on one side, I'm just drawing on his ribs with the hot glue and just using that so I can, and his collarbone as well. I'm going to do that so it kind of looks like his bones are showing through his skin, because he's like a zombie monster thing now. And then once you're happy with that, it's just a case of leaving that to set. What I'm doing there is along the edge of the ribs I was adding some more hot glue, so it's kind of going to look like the ribs are sticking out from under the skin. So I'm just going over, touching up any areas, and then it's a case of letting the glue set before you start painting. And what you use to paint the over the glue is acrylic paint, and I find that works quite well. Okay, so I've left him to dry. It only takes about sort of, I don't know, 5-6 minutes to dry, well, to cool really and set. Then I'm going over with a layer of black acrylic paint. I'm not doing it particularly precisely, I'm just making sure I generally cover most of the doll. I'm not too worried about where the joints are and stuff because it will rub off there anyway. But yeah, just going over the doll and making sure all the nooks and crannies have got black paint in them. I'm not going to leave it black like this. I am going to actually wipe a lot of the paint back off. This is to make sure that the black goes into any grooves and lumps and bumps, just to make the texture show up a lot better. It adds darkness to the recesses and it makes the lumpy texture stand out more. You'll see in a bit when I wipe off the black. So all I'm doing at the moment is very quickly, you don't have to be particularly neat or anything, I'm just covering the whole doll in black acrylic paint. And it doesn't matter if you've got little bits of the skin showing through, it's just mainly just to cover most of that glue to add a bit of depth to it. Like so. And then what you have to do is, once you're happy with the coating of the black acrylic paint, take a cloth. I'm using a baby wipe that I've left out to dry off a bit. So you want a dry cloth that's not particularly like fluffy or anything, and just use that and rub over the top of where you've just applied the acrylic paint firmly but not too hard, and then you'll find it'll lift off the surface paint off the top of the glue, but in all those little recesses and crevices it will leave the black acrylic paint, so it will show up, and as you can see it makes that texture really pop and really show up. What I'm doing here is I'm going over the ribs a little bit to make them stand out a bit more. I didn't want to do them pure white, I wanted it to look like those ribs had been exposed for quite a while, so they're a bit grimy and a bit dirty now. And then I'm just adding a little bit of red here and there, just to make it look a bit sort of like the skin's been torn away and it's a bit old and a bit battered and there's sort of dried blood on him, and yeah, just to make it look horrible really. And then what I'm doing is just going over any areas where I think it needs a bit more definition, like putting a bit more black on and then dabbing it off. On the head, because I'd painted the head black, the texture doesn't show up as much. If I hadn't have painted the head black with the original idea I had for this, then the texture would have showed up the same on the head as it did on the body. But I'd already painted the head black because that was the original idea I had for the doll. So never mind. I still think it looks quite nice anyway. Not think it looks good. I won't say nice. So yeah, that's it. That's how to create a creepy trick-or-treater monster doll. Hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.